Yes, we had a good AMA today. The team, heads down, grinding, pumping stuff out still. There's been, one thing we've noticed with Combat, there hasn't been any updates, in the test net. Well, Hubert said they've been really reworking something on the back end of that. And they've had all their focus there, more delays, but it's okay. Especially on that, I think Hubert figured something out that's like a big game changer to the game. And so they've been working on that. But now we see Workhorse tweeting out about, starting back on the codexes, the monk. Sounds like,
yeah,
baby. We're going to get, which is Hubert's favorite hero in the game. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You got to get those wrapped up. Also, they said any day. He said probably not today, and today's almost over, but probably not today. We'll get the V3 level questing, Profession 10 quest coming, like maybe tomorrow even.
Game on
is my takeaway. Baby, let's go.
Yeah.
So we got that. The team is grinding. They talked about some other like surprise things. They didn't really tease us much. There's some surprise coming. Did you listen to the AMA, Ogre?
I did. Although, I mean, honestly, I get distracted in that chat. Like, I love, because let's be real. I get distracted. I've been all over the place. I have not been focusing on DFK as much as I want to be. So it's like my 1 hour a week I get to hang out with the community, right? It's like totally devoted to DFK is during that AMA, barring some unforeseen circumstance. But I always try to make that. And a lot of times I just have fun, just chilling in the chat, hanging out with everybody. And then I got to go watch the AMA again.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some great stuff. I mean, I love the fact that level 10 quests are coming out. I mean, we've been waiting on that. That's awesome. And people are like getting frustrated with the dev cycle, but that's the reality of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are building something that has never been built before. They can't just go to Google and find a solution. When they hit a roadblock, they got to figure it out. And that usually doesn't take 5 hours, right? A lot of times, like, that could take a few days. And I don't know, it just is helpful when the community is understanding of that.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I don't know, there's so much promise in this game. I'm super excited. The heroes, the PvP.
Yeah.
It's going to be epic.
There's so much promise to the game. I know. Like full-blown metaverse PvE, awesome PvP, like there's so much to it. So I've just been in a big funk here because the sentiment, so many people are leaving the game. Whereas at the same time, we've got several new people coming in.
See, and that's a natural cycle. We're towards the end of the bear market.
Yeah.
So people are capitulating. That capitulation, while it sucks, it's kind of necessary. That is what shows you're nearing the end of the cycle. And the new people coming in is also another indicator, right? Because some people are seeing the value in all of the low token prices. And it's not just DeFi Kingdoms. Bro, same issue over at Mind Games.
Yeah.
You've been out there doing all sorts of stuff, and it's like, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 new people a week might come in by one mine, which isn't even really enough to do anything with. I have a feeling it's more just like, okay, we'll do something. We'll dip our toe in because we know some people there and maybe it'll be cool, right? But I mean, people are kind of strapped right now. They're scared. They don't know if Bitcoin is going up or down. We got to see a lot of people selling stuff off because they think it's going back down to like 24, possibly lower. So people are hedging their bets. Will it go down that far? I don't know. I am not a soothsayer. My crystal ball is broken, so I wish it was fixed. But we could go up from here. Who knows, right? It's just, if you find a project, you believe in the team, you believe they're going to keep building.
Yep.
Hang on, because the chances are very good that tomorrow will be better than today. Not necessarily the day after this one, but you know what I'm saying. Next few weeks, months, we'll see some more trial and tribulation, I think. But it's going to go up after that.
Yeah. Yeah. It is so wild. And then, and I've been paying close attention to the Discord, and it is interesting, as far as buyers and sellers. Okay. And there is a lot of new people in buying up heroes that I've never seen in there, never seen on that tavern sales tab. It's so interesting. So some people have really gone in hard too, buying up. So that's interesting. I've been, golly, it just kills me though, when you have in the community was so strong for so long. And
It'll be back, bro. I mean,
yeah,
some people are jumping out, but I think a lot of them will come back once they realize.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that have just kind of fallen silent. I know a lot of people. Like, I've been talking to people on projects. These are like core team members, and they're struggling, saying like, I might have to go find a job for 3 months, just because the money isn't coming in. The money isn't changing place in crypto because everybody's so strapped and everybody's just kind of waiting with bated breath to see which way we go.
Yeah.
They don't want to jump in now and watch it drop by 20% or 50%. And so a lot of people are kind of just like hands off, just holding pattern, letting it go.
Yeah, they are. And so there's a lot of dumping of things going on. There's not a whole lot of hatching of eggs. We're still at about 17.5 million tiers in existence.
Speaking of which, I got a bunch of green eggs I need to hatch. Ooh, thank you for reminding me.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's still 8.
We can do that on stream if you want.
Yeah. Hey, we could, if you want to just show off some hatches, let's do it. Yeah. So there isn't a huge conviction for pets, because you can come in here and buy. Okay. So it's come up a touch.
Mm-hmm.
It has come up a touch, but I can tell you a lot of these common 1-star pets are even the egg ones. I've noticed too. I wonder if they adjusted slightly the egg drop rate. I've noticed a reduction of eggs coming in over time.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I mean, especially when they've got a glut of eggs that are not hatched yet, it would make sense.
Right. And so now at some point, like, of course, we don't have the pet utility yet. So when that comes, I think this will change probably.
And that could be as early as tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
As you said, because that's that level 10 pass.
Right. And so for the people still staying in, as we realize, like, especially look at this. This is a second chance at the floor for gardening.
Right. I mean,
for 28.
Somebody's going to come in and sweep the heck out of that floor, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, because when they realize that, like, you can't even hatch an egg for that price.
Right. Not even close. Not even close to that.
Yeah. Those are huge deals.
So as we see, it'll be some ebbs and flow. As we see these pets get bought up because they're well worth, like that 28 crystal right there. It's well worth it to get a second chance, gain 23% chance to re-roll an unsuccessful gardening item roll. Like, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Plus
especially for a 1-star.
It's just a 1-star. What's that?
Yeah, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Like, for a 1-star pet, that's a pretty dope ability. Like 25% chance. If you miss, you get to go again. Right. So, like, on a very low level hero, like, that would be a clutch pet. I kind of actually might buy it right now.
Right. Even on a higher level hero, And so as the floor of these get bought up, because also for the XP that you're getting, like, so even on these egg ones, okay.
Right.
So as some of these maybe get bought up, like, I don't know why it's hardly even worth your time to get on here and list these for sale for 28 crystal, like, versus just attaching them to your pet.
Right. That and just hang on to it.
Yeah. And so
then again, you got to keep in mind, not everybody has the hoard that you have and I have to where they are finding enough resources to keep their pets fed. Like, some people who only have a few pets might actually be at that point where they're not finding enough resources and they actually have to buy the food for the pets, right? I mean, the goal is to get a farming army, because the future I see here, what my expectation is that PvP, whether it's this one or the next one, and PvE are just going to hit, and people are going to be excited. And when people are excited about that, then they're going to come in and they're going to want this stuff. So I don't know. Well,
I think when the rubber meets the road, we can actually use the pets. Some of these will get bought up. We'll probably see the floor of these come up.
Right.
Pets. Okay, then more people might start hatching again as these pets come up. Yep. What is like, let's check the floor for uncommon. Okay, it's just 35. Yeah. And then rare, 89. Okay, that's more. That's come up. That does seem like that's maybe. I mean, maybe not in US dollar value. Interesting. Okay, then legendary is okay. That's kind of hung in there. The same 500. And then mythic. Let's see. Okay.
Appreciate the heads up, by the way. That second chance is no longer on the floor.
Is it really?
I just bought it.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's why I was facing that way.
Hey, check this out. There's another one that's a heck of a deal. Okay, is it this one? That's just gray egg. It was a foraging one. Okay, right here, maybe? Yeah. Increased chance of foraging high-value plants by 43%.
Ooh, that's a pretty good one.
31.
Flip that sucker back over.
Beaver, baby. Justice Beaver's got that one up.
Really? Well, they have all the pets. What was the front of that look like?
Okay, it's a foraging Hichu. 31 crystal. And then right next to it, keen eye. That's rare fish by 30%. Even the runes, okay, the runes, it's like, all right, 6% chance, increase 6% chance. But it's like when the new rune comes out, that's going to be, all the rune ones, I think, will be more considerable. Six intern is present. Very good. My man
he is here.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody out there? I see Nani, Jared, Starbuck, and Sticks. What's up, y'all? I'm sure there's probably more of you out there just not typing.
Yep. So
hello, everybody.
So they hit on a little bit. The vote came through 58%, I think, is where it ended. Voting no to increase the cooldown time for Gen Zeros. And Hubert hit on that. And they're cool. It was more of a vote again, I think, because some people in the community have brought that up to them. And Hubert had already wanted to have that done anyways.
Right.
So I think some of the community may have overreacted to that.
People do. When you're given a choice or you're given an option to speak up and be heard, and then it doesn't go your way, typically people get upset. We see it every 2 years in election cycles. No, I have no idea who Zelf is. Come on, man. I'm using your tool. I love it.
Yeah, baby. Zelf. We should get you in the house sometime. Yeah.
That is Zealous, right? I'm not messing that up.
No, Zelf is not Zellies.
Oh, shice. I definitely know that name. I kept thinking that you were the same. Ha!
Oh, really?
Actually, two people?
I mean, I think they're two different people.
I definitely recognize the name Zelf. I mean, it's not like we've had beers together. I don't think we've met in person at any of the conventions, but yeah I definitely recognize you, bro.
Yep.
That name has been around.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
He's not Zellies.
Okay, six totally correct. Yeah. My apology, bro.
Zelf is a legend in the chat. That's right. Zelf has been here for a long time. I love it.
He has.
And so, and there's several others that were here for a long time that are bouncing out the ecosystem now. And it's like PTSD.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's shell shock. And it's like people can only take so much, right? And when you're running on faith, I mean, it's just similar to religion, right? When you run on faith and enough bad things happen, you lose your faith, right? You question your faith at the very least, and you question enough times, you're sure to break, at least for a while, and maybe you come back. It's the same thing. Everything works in cycles. Everything in life works in cycles. And we're at the bottom of a cycle right now. I don't blame anybody who feels like they need to walk away. I'm sad because I know they're going to pay more to get back in later. But I mean, I don't want to lose any of that, fam. Y'all better come back if you do bounce out.
Mm-hmm. We know there's a lot to come. If you can make it at least through the summer and see what happens. So he said, Hubert said it'll be about another month or two before they finish reworking the back end combat. Okay. And in the meantime, we have Workhorse back on working on the codex of the heroes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing maybe a couple months come this summer, we're going to have next Crypto Gym TV show. We're going to have the launching, I think, of Combat, like officially, sometime this summer. I'm guessing. Now,
I'm sure it'll be sometime this summer. No doubt.
It might not be till August, but I'm kind of thinking maybe July. Okay, we'll shoot for that, but possibly end of June, maybe. Okay, could be.
I would like it. I'm totally down with end of June, but in reality, so how many more heroes do we have? Because that's I've kind of cued in on that as an indicator. Like when they get down to it and they're running out of heroes to drop codex on, you know they're close.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's probably part of the reason they took a break, because they realized, wait, we only have 5 more heroes and we got 12 more weeks. So slow your roll a little bit. Maybe we take a little break or something, go on vacation and just stop.
Yeah, you know, they said, I think in an AMA, or did they just tell us? I don't remember, but they did say they were open to starting with just like the basic heroes.
I don't know if they just told you, or maybe they said that when we were up there, but you've definitely mentioned that on stream before.
Yeah.
My weed-addled mind,
right.
My short-term memory, it doesn't know that. I mean, I don't remember hearing that personally. So it might have just been like you pulled that out of someone on a private call or something like that and released it to the world.
Possible.
I don't know.
Maybe when we were talking to Hubert or Workhorse up there, he might have said, he said maybe he was open to that. But then I think what they figured out was there was a way they could improve the game of Combat to where it was worth the couple months that it's going to take to rework the back end of the game. And so in the meantime, Workhorse is going to be right back onto the codexes. So we've got the Monk left. And then I think it's just the Scholar and Legionnaire, right? And that's all the basics, I think, if I remember right. Then all the rest, then they'll cover the advanced heroes, then the 3 elite heroes, and then the Dread Knight. So we got tweets going out right now talking about the Monk coming. That codex is coming. We got this monster update just about to go live any day, anytime, like maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday. It sounded like it was even maybe today, but then Sachet said probably not happening today, which means like basically it's
before next Thursday sometime.
Probably not today.
Right.
Basically what they said. Okay. And that's like, boom, the rubber meets the road. We can finally actually use our pets. This is the real update we've been waiting for the whole time, is pet utility. That's the first step. And Profession 10 quests. So that we'll see. We'll see what kind of impact that has on the pet market. Okay. And on, I would think, that's probably a good bet, because for most of us don't have enough pets to manage all of our heroes. And when we can get pets at, let's see, 28 crystal is like 2.7 cents. So 28 times 0.027. Okay, that's 75 cents for these pets. Okay, that's going to be giving our heroes more XP.
Dude, I love that, though.
What's that?
I love that, though, because if you think about it, that opens it up to a lot more people. Like now, even people with the prices of everything so low, it allows everybody. Like you can't even say I'm in Singapore, like I only make $300 a month. Like even those people are going to be able to get in on this game. They might not be able to like build the army like you immediately, but they'll be able to jump in and buy a few pets and a few heroes. I mean, It's a good thing. And yeah, I like it. I've been kind of laughing. Fistful of Dollars came in. And yeah, they've been hamming it up in there, himself and Sticks. I love it.
Well, 4th of
there's
July combat. Let's go. 4th of July combat. I love it.
That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, you can live stream a summon, but it's not as exciting as combat when we're live streaming combat. Okay. And so I'm stoked. I mean, the team is grinding. They even said it on stream. They're skipping birthdays. They're skipping funerals. They're working nights and weekends. It's like they're working, they're grinding hardcore. The team is really trying their best. The team, as much as anything I've ever seen.
Dude, I have a question.
I
will give someone a Gen 1 with 10 summons if they can drop another project in that chat right there that communicates as effectively as this team, that is able to develop as effectively, that has the chops that this team has. Give me one. I'm not talking about a layer 1 like blockchain. Give me one project built on top that actually is doing what this team is actually doing without being greedy Web 2 bastards, right?
Yeah. I mean, even layer 1 blockchains don't communicate as well. And like with AMAs like this and communicate what's going on in their project where we can actually follow what's going on week after week.
Bro, I don't know if you guys are in the dev chat, but like jump in there real quick just to look at the most recent update. The information that they are dropping on the developer community so that the external developers that aren't even part of the team can stay locked in and update the services they're providing for us. Like, bro, I've been in several projects. This is a freaking diamond in the rough.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. Now, it's like a snowball. As sentiment goes down, like all my efforts of trying to connect with George and different things like that, he just looks at, the sentiment of the ecosystem. And like, I thought it had a strong ecosystem. Okay. Look at this, look how low the sentiment is. If this doesn't tell us anything, I used to send there was one time I sent with one bridge, I sent in $200,000. Another time I sent in $100,000. There's been other times where I sent 50 grand. 30
Damn, bro. You looking for any help?
Into this ecosystem. I literally bridged that in, okay, in one go. Okay, right now, if I want to buy, let's just say I want to buy $20,000 worth of Jewel. 20,000.
That's gonna move.
You can't.
Yeah.
The price impact is too high. The max you can buy in one go is 15,135, and that would move the price by 5%.
Huge.
I mean,
we need that
would get you 100,000 Jewel. Okay, and I'm just like, I've made $50,000 purchases of Jewel, and it didn't even put a dent in the price impact before. Well,
there's also deeper pools like the stable coin pools, especially as we've been going down. People have been pulling out of that because they worry it's going to go lower. And when you have a stable coin on one side and then something like Jewel on the other, and it goes down in value, like that very much smacks you in the face on your LP. I think if you went and changed that to, let's see.
What's a better one? Avalanche or
KLAY? Well, KLAY is a little light on this chain too. Try AVAX.
AVAX?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I buy more than $100,000 worth of Jewel? I'll say 110, 100 or 110. Yeah. No, that's the most. That's crazy. That's wild.
The market's depressed right now, man.
Yeah.
I mean, these Jewel is worth what? 14.4 cents? Like,
yeah,
that's big. It's gonna take PvP and PvE coming out and people like being able to play, in my mind. That and just getting the people, the small people convinced, or I don't mean small people, The retail investors that aren't dropping $10,000 or $20,000, right? The people that might drop $100 or $20. Those people will come back in as the PVP comes out and the PVE comes out and they enjoy it. Between now and then, we might see some more negative action though. Like that's real. So be prepared for that. I'm hating it because like I'm a little concerned that the market's going to keep going down because that's going to put me in a risky position. Like,
yeah. It's like, so Jewel, I guess it only lets you right now buy up to a max of 100,000 Jewel at one time. On the Klaytn chain, it would price impact that by 9%.
Crazy.
And that's again about $16,000 worth.
Mm-hmm.
So people literally trade like $50 million in one trade on Bitcoin every day.
Yeah, but that's like
there was one guy that did he got liquidated $200 million in one liquidation.
Right, but that's like comparing like an apple to an orchard of apple trees, right? I mean, it's like, not really a fair comparison. Bitcoin,
it's like you're telling me there's not one person out there that would send in like $100,000. Like, look at what the price impact of Jewel would be if someone just paid $100,000 to buy Jewel. Like, let alone $1 million or 10 million. Like there's not somebody out there, some billionaire out. If I'm some billionaire sitting out there, okay, and I've got billions, I'm not gonna like, hey, let's find an awesome project with the dream team of all dream teams, okay, sitting out there and look at this diamond in the rough, like you called it, baby. It's one of my favorite statements. And let's throw a few milli at this. And then you come in here and you can only make $16,000 purchases at a time. Is that not like what?
That type of person isn't going to buy that much at once. So they're going to, they don't get that much money by doing a market buy that large. They scale in over time, right? So there's that. Plus, keep in mind, like those numbers you see right there are completely dependent upon the price of Bitcoin. As Bitcoin goes up, those will go up as well. Because, all of these things are compared to Bitcoin before they're compared to anything else. That's true for AVAX. That's true for KLAY. That's true for any layer one project. It has a pair with Bitcoin or Ethereum and usually that's the deep pool at layer one, right? And then projects like this are sitting on top of that. And then we've got all the other tokens sitting on top of that. So it's exponential, the effect it has it's like doubling down in blackjack, right? You either win twice as much or you lose twice as much because like that crazy liquidity swing, that volatility that you see at layer one is amplified at layer two. And even more so at layer three, all the internal tokens we have here. So, a lot of this and the token price that we're seeing and the action we're seeing, realistically, even if people weren't selling, because there is sell pressure. So I can't say that that's not affecting the price, that it's all Bitcoin. But in all reality, like Bitcoin has a bigger effect on the value of these tokens than the selling we have. And we got a decent amount of selling right now. So I'm not worried about it. It's just a question of when the bull market comes. When the bull market comes, bro, the sentiment will change.
Yeah. A $5,000 purchase of Jewel.
Of course, hypothetically, not financial advice.
Yeah, right. It drives the price from 14, wherever it's at, 14.5 cents to 14 point, basically 15 cents, just $5,000 drives it up a half penny. And so, it's like, and in spite of that, it's like, I can't even, honestly, I just can't believe it. I don't get it. Like if I can tell you, if I was a Brian D. Evans, for example, or a George, why not throw a few grand? Let alone, those guys got millies just sitting out there towards projects with phenomenal fundamentals. Like
this could and should be one of them. If we had the liquidity, I I could see them, and I think we will, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good question, though. Incentivization of the liquidity pools. I'll be curious to see what else they do with that. I mean, because in reality, like other projects could come in and add emissions to the DEX, right? You could have a second project come in and go, hey, I want to partner with you. I'm going to put my liquidity in your DEX, and I'm going to allocate X amount of our token because we don't have our own AMM. So there are no emissions aside from the game. We're going to allocate them to here to help get the ecosystem going a little more. Because I mean, and I see things like that happening over time. Hell, when I'm flush, I very well want to do something like that. And yeah, somebody up there, where was it? I think it was Zelf. When we were saying other games to compete with this, someone there was, yeah, it was Zelf, said Mind Games. They're a great team. They got a lot of promise, but even they don't hold a candle to DFK, bro. I have not found a project and team as deep as DFK. Even, I mean, I love Dragon's Crossing. I love the team. I love all of those guys, but they're only one half of the team, right? Where are the devs? They have to hire them. DFK doesn't have to hire the devs. They have the devs. They have the social media people. They have the marketing people. They have Dreamer and who else was it? Who's going to 3XP?
Risen, Bolin, Dreamer, and Sunbear.
Sunbear, yep.
Who's a doctor psychologist. I know.
So, I mean, these guys are going there. Everybody's in the right spot, doing the right thing, and they have all their bases covered. They have the complete package, the complete team. They don't have to farm it out, which costs more. It wastes your treasury when you have to do that to a degree. And all of the teams, and I'm not knocking on anybody. I'm not dropping shade on anybody. As I said, I love all the projects I've mentioned. I'm excited about all of them.
You work for Mind Games.
Right. I kind of did for a month. I actually just dropped in there yesterday because they have limited funds. They're struggling just like everybody else. And they need somebody on the marketing side. They're kind of paring back, like a lot of projects do, focusing on the development because they have a lot of developers in there, some really good developers. And so they're in a development hole right now. And they've kind of pulled back on everybody else to focus on the development, get the project out there and prepped for the bull market. So what they could offer me, I felt badly, like, because I know that if I was actually getting paid to do that position, even if it was only $1 a month, I got to dedicate my time to it. That is my number one priority because I'm actually, like, they are paying me as an employee to do that, right? I take that seriously. So I had to turn it down because they couldn't offer, they just didn't have enough to throw at me. So I can't allocate that time to that project when I need to go, like, make money elsewhere. I need to stop selling all of my jewel. It's freaking killing me every month. I need to not do that. And I'm not doing all of it. Like my fun account, I don't sell it like that. But on the emission side, it's been paying my bills to a degree, and I need to stop doing that. I need to find another source of income, other ways to make money, so that it's not all coming out of there. Slowly but surely, I'm figuring it out, and I think the bottom line is I just need to start my own project, and it's kind of where I'm at. Part of what I've been busy with this week is taking those ideas that a lot of you have kind of heard little bits and pieces of over the past years that we've talked, and I've been chatting in public spaces. But yeah, working on something, and it will complement everything else.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Dragon's Crossing had an awesome AMA today. You know, they did a deeper dive into the gameplay. But one thing I was pushing on there in the comments was like, hey, so a big part of that is when you go to the different tiles, there's so much strategy to that. And that's a big part of where I think it'll be addictive with the contests that they're going to have. Their seasonal contest every 2 weeks, a new one starts. And, you know, you can enter multiple heroes. If you have multiple heroes, you can you're one hero. And so if you want to geek out and just be nuts, you can have heroes, or you just want one hero, play it 20 minutes a day. But a big part of the fun of that is the strategy on how to approach that. And I think the game's going to be fun, but it is hard getting traction there. So I hope, I think the mint will mint out fine, but I wonder if it'll actually mint all the way out. They hit on that.
I think, honestly, I have not seen a project mint out quickly and well here recently, unless it's like a pump and dump coin or like a Ponzi coin, or not a Ponzi, but like a pump and dump. A meme coin is what I'm looking for. There we go.
Mind Games minted out their Gen Zeros pretty quick.
True. That is true.
I did sell that Savant that wasn't as good. I dumped them.
You didn't even tell me?
I just saw it today. So I got like $180, for it or something. I just went to the floor Savants, put him in there, and he sold.
Nice. Yep. So there's still some action there. There's still people buying and looking to upgrade what they have. It's got a very core loyal team. It's not huge, but one of them is like a community dev type. Wilto, I think, is his handle. He's creating some cool stuff in, don't call it a spreadsheet. It's way more. It's got coding in there, but it kind of reminds me of what ADFK is doing. He's pulling out all the stats and dropping it into a workbook that he is specially designed to where you can easily go in and see like what's been selling, what has sold recently, all of those cool metrics that people are interested in. And over time, we'll see more of that, I think.
Yeah. And so Mind Games is still grinding. The devs are good. You still feel good about that project?
I still like it. I've still got a nice little piece of it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be some time, just like all these other games. Like nothing happens overnight. They're developing something new, something interesting. They're working on a wager system, and they've got a very complex PvP that's out already.
Yeah.
And it's got some bugs, right? So when you have 54 different spells and all these different minds out there, and they're all interacting, troubleshooting that can be a little difficult sometimes. So sometimes it takes a minute. And before they drop the next feature, which will be the wagers, they need to make sure it's free of bugs, right? Because if like I wager you for half an ETH and I win because of a bug, you're going to be hot and you're going to turn to the team, and realistically, they should take care of you for that. And they don't want to get stuck in that situation. So they're slow rolling, making sure that their PvP is locked solid and good to go before that. And it'll just take time. Everything takes time. That's the biggest thing. That's why you don't invest more than you can afford to lose, because you need to be able to sit on it, let it go for 6 months. If you're angry or frustrated, stop paying attention to it for a few weeks and come back and check in on it, see what's going on. Get distracted. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's still going to be here when you get back.
Yeah. When your head is so deep into it, like mine is with the sort of overall sentiment of the DFK ecosystem, it gets you down. So to answer this question, I don't see any sign the team's getting burned out at all.
No.
So just listen to those
communities getting burned out.
Here's where it might come in, is that they might be discouraged because they've been grinding, and then they take a lot of heat, and then people leave the project. And I know that would affect me. That would really affect me if I was a dev.
It's funny that you bring that up, because I was literally talking to a core team member for a different game today, and they're ready to burn down their chat and never go in it again.
Yeah.
What we, the community, say in chat has an effect, and we have the power to rug a project.
Right.
We can totally destroy the will of the devs to the point to where they just go, well, fuck it. Why am I doing this? Like, everybody is ungrateful. They're all screaming. I'm here killing myself, ruining my family. I'm on the verge of divorce. My kids don't even know who I am because I'm devoting my whole life to building this amazing freaking project that's half built. And the community, all they want to do is rage because they're not millionaires already. And it's like, what are they doing to earn it? Like, so be careful of the sentiment that you allow yourself to drop into those chats, and police each other. Like, if you see someone else, even like if you get attacked for it, please call them out. Yeah. Or you know what? DM me and I'll come in there and do it. I don't care what people say about me. If they want to call me out and call me a douchebag for defending the team, hell yeah, I'll do that all day long.
Right.
But we got to stand up for the team.
Yeah. And no team is perfect. Like all teams out there, you're never going to find, unless you go to CZ and Binance or something, you'll never find a guy on a team that's perfect. It's like everything everywhere is always messy. and people are people. So any project you look at, any project, there's going to be strengths and weaknesses. And so you got to take the good with the bad. Okay. And so maybe somebody, a team member disagrees with you on something. Okay. It's like, you got to step back, take a walk or something, and realize the bigger picture here. The bigger picture with DeFi Kingdoms is it's like light years ahead of anything else we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the fundamentals of a project, it's like you can't. It's and this, even Christian Peter, he said it on Monday. He said he went and did a deep dive into multiple other gaming projects. You couldn't find one that holds a candle to DeFi Kingdoms. Well, guess what? I've been doing the same thing.
I've been doing it since 2018.
But yeah. And I've been in 50 gaming projects that went to zero. Okay, already.
Yep.
As it is. Okay. And so when you
know what?
Into fundamentals of projects, you just now will
the next one in my mind that comes close is Splinterlands.
Hey,
they've got a great team, they've got a great community. I still think this one's going to be better long term because I think they went too complex too quickly, and now they're trying to patch holes, I think. But then again, I haven't been paying much attention over there. That's a project where it was like they did really well. I got a nice little set of cards over there, but I can't spend all day playing that game. So I shifted focus. And it's DeFi Kingdoms, baby.
I have a Klaytn Arena Pro, a buddy, baby. What's his name? Merc. He hit me up and he said he's getting into Splinterlands. You know, he's kind of like backed away from Klaytn Arena. Finally, he was like stuck with it for so long. Klaytn Arena is like zero. It's basically at zero. I mean, just imagine if Jewel went to a fraction of a penny and Jade and Crystal went to like 1/1000th of a penny.
Bro, you'll see me for a month on my bed crying at that point.
There's still people doing those tournaments in there because the game is so fun. Mm-hmm. But it's like with such a VC rug pull. Well, he finally gave up and he's into Splinterlands now and he's wanting to get into Dragon's Crossing. That's what he hit me up on. I was like,
hell yeah,
let's go. So I think, again, Dragon's Crossing, their whole pitch is sustainability, sustainable tokenomics. In spite of what George said, that killed me too. It's like such a punch in the gut.
Well, George is looking at it from the degen perspective, right? He's looking at it as everybody, a lot of people in the space are. Okay, how do I get in there and make 50% in a week or 2 weeks? Like, can I do that? If not, I want to go do that somewhere else. They're not true gamers, right?
Yeah.
We have a bunch of true gamers here, and that's what it's all about in my mind, because a lot of the go ahead.
Well, and he was saying that you started to say earlier he was saying the DeFi is weak in DeFi Kingdoms, but I can't find anything better.
Well, that's because the project doesn't revolve. I believe he's saying that just because the liquidity pools are light and the emissions aren't what they used to be,
yes.
right? So, but in all reality, this game isn't about DeFi. DeFi was utilized to fair launch the token. That's why they included the AMM, so that they could fair launch the token and to do something completely new, of course, because that's what they're freaking doing. That's what they're all about, is being innovative in the space. So yeah, I can see why somebody who's more just like the degen mode is going to look at this and be like, oh, well, the DeFi, I can't make money passively not doing anything. And I've got to do all of this to be able to make money. And I think that I love the fact that Dragon's Crossing is creating a game, a true game, a sustainable game, but that's going to limit them from some people like George, right? You're not going to have those investors who are going to come in and drop crazy money on it, probably, because they're not going to devote the time to actually play the game.
Game.
So there's no way for them to make money in their eyes.
But they have
but that's also a good thing, right? Because that means if you don't have those giant whales in there initially trying to make all that money and pull that liquidity out, that means they're not there to dump on you later.
Right.
So the price will be a lot more sustainable over time, and you won't see the wild volatility swings you see in some other ones. It's a gamer's game, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah. Right. right? And so there is a token. And because the SEC, just so everybody understands, the reason why Gala Games, for example, is coming out saying there's no expectation to gain from this token and from this and that, from the assets, because that is purely SEC lawyer talk. They've got a law firm giving them a message, just like Dragon's Crossing has two lawyers or whatever, three lawyers, two lawyers, three lawyers, four lawyers.
They're all lawyers, aren't they?
Investors, right? They got Johnny, they got Sandwich Punch, they got Granite. Okay, they're lawyers. Okay, it's SEC talk. They cannot say there's any possibility to gain, okay, from buying a token. Otherwise, that puts them at risk for being called a security. That's why Gala Games is saying what they're saying. The translation is, here's the translation in the world we live in today in 2023. What that means, translation, when they say that, that means that there is a chance to gain on the token. Otherwise, they wouldn't be saying that in the first place. Okay. Right. So it's like up is down, down is up in crypto these days. SEC, United States is a mess when it comes to crypto.
Ain't that the truth?
So anyone functioning out here has to talk in the lawyer talk.
100%. They got a CYA. Otherwise, they risk not being there in 3 years, which is going to be far worse than them saying, oh, well, you can't make any money off this project verbally. Right? I mean, they've got to be careful. Otherwise, there will be a reckoning at some point. There will be regulation that comes down, and it will probably shut down a lot of the crazy projects out there that are being ignorant and just raping their communities and then turning around and giving out ridiculous returns. Right? I mean, that's if they're sitting there and saying, hey, yeah, we're going to make you rich. This thing's going to the moon. You're going to make all sorts of money from the team. That, like, by default, like, almost will get it lumped into the Howey test. And they're going to rewrite the Howey test to accommodate for crypto. I see that coming. Enough people are calling for it. So they're going to figure out, okay, well, which one of these projects actually look like investment vehicles? And most of them will. In all reality, most people are in this space because they're trying to make money, because they're trying to reach to the stars. And then they find their interest, whether it's gaming or DeFi or whatever within there, and they go down that road. So you take a look at what has happened before. Look at like Ethereum and a lot of these other ones. They started out with an ICO, so they would have initially started as a centralized project, but over time, they have become decentralized enough to where they are no longer securities, thus they are allowed to live. Right. That's where we are at, I firmly believe. I don't think we're that centralized. I mean, to a degree we are, but it's also a game. So there's like a whole other category that needs to pop up there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Ogre, I thought I got a lot of messages throughout the day, but damn, dude, like it's like 2 beeps a second over there. You're gonna
Is my thing beeping and coming through?
You're gonna have like 8,000 messages to read by the time the notifications by the time this video is over.
Bro, I have tens of thousands of messages that I have not read. Like I'm at max capacity. As I said, I've been in this gaming space since 2018. You scroll down, I've got like Darwinia, I've got Splinterlands, I've got guilds in Splinterlands, I've got Deeper Network, Cadena, Arbitrum, Axelar Network, Artemis, Celestia, the Pops team. Like, I have so many servers. I do not curate my social media very well. You should see my Telegram, bro. I legit have over 1 million unread messages. I didn't realize that was coming through, though. I need to figure out how to like make that quiet.
It kind of drives me nuts a little bit.
I'm sorry.
And you just have to start ignoring it. And that's what,
you know what? I'm just gonna log out of Discord. How about that? Because that's the only one I didn't
Discord and I think Telegram, and it's like, and then I come back to it, and there's like,
I just shut you off. How are you doing that?
It's like, so Sticks intern right here, who's also a lawyer, baby. We got so many lawyers in this ecosystem. He said it right here. It's all SEC driven. Okay. So don't. It's like, man, Hustle went off on Gala Games today. And so it's like, Hustle, come on, man. I'm trying to get a hold of that man. I've been trying to get a hold of him for Dragon's Crossing. And so when we talk about investment vehicle, What project out there has the team come out on day one with a project, with a game that's ready to play on day one, and the team has 0 tokens? It doesn't happen.
That's huge.
And after having developed, working on this thing for a year and a half, it doesn't happen. And then on top of that, the total allocation of all the tokens ever to exist, only 15% will go to the team, and combined with the seed investors, less than 15%, 15, 14, 4.9% of the tokens goes. It's like, it doesn't get better than that.
Nope.
And it's like, and so his mantra, one of his mantras is long-term sustainability. There's 0 sell pressure on that coin on day one because nobody's got any tokens.
Right.
So the first time people will get tokens is on day 31, a small percentage of the tokens. It's like of the team, and the seed investors will start getting some of their tokens dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, George, how did you miss that? Hello? Okay.
Hey, so yeah, Eric Tippett.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Tippett's out there in LA. Like,
yeah. And so
you need to make sure that one of those tickets gets in his hands.
I know
He's been around for a hot minute too.
See, I'm planning on staying with him if I go, but I've had second thoughts of going too because of the cost. Same thing, the plane tickets, the cost, everything.
That's why I can't go. Like, legit, I don't have enough jewel to sell to be able to go right now, and I'm not putting more on my credit cards. I got to pay that shit off.
Yeah. Yep. And so then right now, as we speak in Miami, we have, Jet is about to announce some monster freaking crazy announcements. And I've got some too that's coming. Okay.
I like it.
And it's big. It's like not small stuff. It's big. And it's starting to leak out a little bit. He's going to start dropping some alpha.
When trailer?
Okay. The trailer is like, that's a non-announcement compared to the stuff coming.
Wow.
Okay. No kidding. The partnerships, and they wanted me there, and I really should be there. That's exactly where I should be right now. There's no other place on earth that I should be. Even as hard as it is to say it, with your pure, good-looking hunk of man flesh self, I should be in Miami right now, hanging out with George and Brian D. Evans.
Wish I was there too. I would have some.
I just didn't ever pull the I couldn't do it. I don't know why I didn't, but Jet hit me up. George hit me up to be there. I've just been in such a mental funk, really.
I feel you.
Like I've been knocked off my rocker with the DeFi Kingdoms, like, sentiment dropping so hard. But it's encouraging. Like, we got Eric David Tippett. Guess what he was doing today? He was in there buying. He bought at least a dozen heroes. I'm scrolling through. Buyer, Eric David Tippett, Eric David Tippett, Eric David Tippett, buyer, 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 buyer. And then a whole bunch of other names that I had never seen. Man.
My personal opinion, it's a good time. I mean, it's all depressed down. Yeah, go to the next one. He got time. He actually missed it.
Okay, we better end. If Mythic Squad's getting going.
No, read the next one.
Oh, okay, wait. Oh, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm still like right up in the air. If I go to 3XP, I think I'm staying with Eric David Tippett. But is Mythic Squad starting right now? If they are, is there anything else? We should probably wrap up.
No, I completely get it. Let's make space for other people to get on there and have some fun.
I might even jump in with Mythic Squad. I don't know.
I mean, for a few minutes, I got to get up early. It's late here, but okay. I'll probably go check that out while I have my evening smoke before I go to bed.
There you go. There you go. Awesome, man. Okay. Well, baby.
Yeah, baby. A pleasure as always. Thank all of you for coming and hanging out. And yeah, I wish I was going to be there. I know I'm not going to be able to swing it. I was working with some other projects also, trying to see if we could figure something out, get a way to get some sponsorship and finagle some extra dollars so I can get out there, but it's not in the cards right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It will be soon. I'm working on
I'd be hanging out with Lifer. If I like everybody's there. Crypto Banter, the whole team. Hustle. I'd be hitting up Hustle on these projects, connecting with these guys. It's just like it's eating me alive even more.
Yeah. No, I totally feel you. Like going to these conventions, for those of you that don't go to these conventions, you need to. It's huge. You make a lot of connections. You find out a lot of information. A lot of alpha gets dropped. I would definitely recommend going to these conventions as often as you can. Check them out in your area.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I will be going to as many as possible. I just need to get some more money flow coming in so that I'm not selling all my jewel and can do some extra stuffs. But I'm working on that. So hopefully here soon. Definitely by next year, I envision myself going out and being at events again.
I love you guys. Ken Chen, Jared, Burke, baby. I think Lifer's out there. I was watching him earlier. Okay. Jakamach. So all it takes is just one dude could come in with $1 million and drive this price up so hard. Like even if he was just dollar cost averaging $5,000 a day.
Yep. That'll walk it up quick.
It would just boom, 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 boom. That blew my mind when I saw that. When I saw how much money it takes. Like the max buy of Jewel is 100,000 Jewel, which used to be worth a lot of money, millions of dollars. Now that's worth 15 grand, and that's the max buy, and that drives up the price by 5%.
Could you imagine what would happen if like just some monster stuff dropped and caused like 3 or 4 or 5 whales to start doing something like that, bro? Like everything changes at that point. I might be going to some conventions this year. And well, I think there's something coming up in the next few months that could possibly, hopefully, have an effect like that. Is there not?
Yeah. Like, is Dreamer talking to some of these guys?
I don't know. I think
didn't George say that like he loves Dreamer? It's like
Dreamer coming out too, isn't there?
Did he talk about like last week AMA like making these connections with VCs? And isn't Brian a VC?
We need to let the Mythic Squad take over, man. We're going into the hole now. we're going straight influencer mode. There's no more education here. This is bad.
All right, love you guys. Ogre and Crypto Grady out.
Y'all are awesome.
DeFi Kingdoms is ride or die, baby. Just like Blue says, ride or die. DeFi Kingdoms, baby.
Bullish, baby.
Let's go. Love you guys. See ya.